You know what? No, Joe, no. Let's football. Week 0's in the books. Week 1 is here. We got State and ECU on Thursday. I hope you had a good time with your family this weekend, because you're never going to see them until February.
That's not true, as we found out on Saturday. Oh, you're going to see your family. You're going to get into a fist fight with them in the parking lot after your brother/son loses a heartbreaker in Ireland.
Oh, man. Let me do a proper setup.
What an export.
Alongside Joe Giglio, I'm Joe Ovies. We are inside Eford Studios, thanks to Empire Properties and thanks to Copiers Plus. Check them out online at copiers-plus.com. Yeah, Farmageddon was in Ireland. And yes, our greatest export is, if you think about it truly, deeply, is college football. Because unlike the NFL, which is very, very polished and corporate, as polished and corporate as college football is right now and where it is headed, as we discussed with Bubba Cunningham last week, AD at UNC, I highly suggest, if you missed that conversation last week, to go check it out. 30 minutes of really interesting stuff with Bubba Cunningham. You still can't take college football out of college football. And that includes, a Hawaiian kicker with an incredible backstory, sticking it to Frank Reich and making not Frank Reich having PTSD of his Panthers days, losing there at the last minute on a field goal. And also, the ACC having an embarrassing. We're importing teams and they're fitting right in with an embarrassing loss right out of the gate. And again, Farmageddon between Iowa State and Kansas State ends in a fight. If you're watching on YouTube, we got the clip because it was all over the place. This was in the parking lot after the game. People weren't really quite sure what was going on here. Who are these people? Well, turns out it's Avery Johnson, the quarterback of Kansas State's dad, and Avery Johnson's brother. Apparently they got into a disagreement and they just started fighting overseas. Now, Joe, before we get to the apology.
I was going to say, the best part is actually the apology.
The apology is amazing. Before we get to the apology, I'm watching this unfold as I'm catching up on things Sunday morning. And I thought to myself, if we were still doing sports talk, this is one of the greatest collar prompts of all time. Heck, we could do it with the OG sports phone if we really wanted to. It's a shame that we're now here at the beginning of the football season and not in summer protocols.
919-444-2211. Call the OG sports phone and curse or don't.
Tell us about the time you found out your dad still had old man strength and he whooped your ass. Have you ever gotten into a fight with Lou? A physical fight with Lou? I could not envision that. I could not envision you getting into a physical fight with your dad. I have also never been in a physical fight with my dad. You see, the Ovies boys, we fight emotionally. We fight with mental warfare.
Cats in the cradle, Joey.
Yes, that's how emotional damage. That's how we get at each other, not actual physical confrontation. So 919-444-2211. When's the last time you found out your dad still had old man strength? Here's the apology.
So we got Mark Johnson and Anthony Johnson. They're the ones who are wrestling in the parking lot. By the way, Ireland is, at first I'm thinking to myself, well, man, we really made a mess of this. What a poor representation of America over in Ireland. No, but here's the real thing. It's
actually perfect.
Here's the real thing. If you don't think Irish fans are passionate about Conor McGregor or soccer, then this is actually your dad and your brother got into a fight. Well, that's just another Tuesday in Dublin. What are you talking about?
Soccer hooligans? What? Quote, joint statement. Quote, we sincerely apologize for our actions following yesterday's football game in Ireland. Senseless bickering escalated into an unnecessary fight. This is from Mark Anthony. And
Anthony Johnson.
I want to say Mark Anthony, the singer,
no.
Formerly married to Jennifer Lopez. Mark and Anthony Johnson wrote a joint statement on 3. We have resolved our differences and take full responsibility for our actions. We have apologized to our immediate and extended family and now extend our apologies to Kansas State University, its alumni and fans. We regret this incident. We have learned from it, and we are committed to ensuring it doesn't happen again. Please accept our deepest apologies.
That's the money shot. We are committed to ensuring that we don't end up in a brawl in a parking lot anywhere else this year. Just Ireland. We've contained our violence to Ireland.
I love it.
And I know what you're thinking. Avery Johnson. Why do I know that name? Why do I know who Avery Johnson
is? Why does it sound familiar?
Well, if you go back to 2023, because everything's local, Joe,
of course.
And Paul, just for you, everything is about the Wolfpack. 2023, Kansas State had an amazing quarterback who ended up being the top paid quarterback in college football last year at Ohio State. Well, once he put his name in the portal, they needed a starter for the Pop-Tarts Bowl in 2023. Well, who could that be? Well, it was a freshman, Avery Johnson, making his first college start, which of course turned out to be a 28-19 win over the Wolfpack in the Pop-Tarts Bowl back in 2023. Last year, he was their regular starter. I actually commend Kansas State for being able to hold on to him for all of these years. So congrats to Avery Johnson for having his family's dirty laundry aired for literally all of the world to see.
Speaking of the Wolfpack, not only is football back, and we've got something going on Thursday between the Pirates and the Wolfpack, but DraftKings is back. Now, we're going to talk about this game a little bit more on Wednesday when Wes Durham, ACC Network, ESPN, is going to hang out in studio with us. He has the game on Thursday, so that should be fun. But let's go ahead and get things going with our friends at DraftKings. I am looking at NC State currently at minus 11.5 on Thursday night against the Pirates. You're making a face, Joe. Why are you making a face?
That feels like
minus 470 money line.
Hey, Vegas. Just so you know, when these two teams get together, it normally doesn't look like that.
Fair.
Including in 2022 when NC State was the top 15 team and went to Greenville and had to escape on 2 missed kicks.
Yeah.
So give me all of those points, 11.5. Although it does, at minus 105 right now, it does look like it'll pop to 12. So you can probably get a better number by the end of the week.
Okay. There's something to keep an eye on. All right. Tell me I'm crazy, though. Tell me I'm crazy. I'm looking at the first quarter because with DraftKings, you can do by quarters. There's a live line, all that fun stuff, right? ECU plus 4.5 is minus 112. I do feel like ECU is going to be leading in the first quarter because what says more Dave Doran swan song than people like puckered butts in the seats at Carter Finley Stadium with ECU up and what I think will be a sizable amount of purple in the building. I'm not saying that there's going to be more ECU representation than state representation at Carter Finley Stadium, but I think we can all agree, given how everything's going on, that there's going to be a lot of purple.
The Pirates are going to rep.
And they're going to be fired up in the first quarter when they're up, and state fans are going to be calling the sports phone being like, there's a reason why Dave Doran was catching strays during the Stanley Cup run.
So what you would do, you could take the points. That's fine. The juice is fine. But you could also take ECU on the money line in the first quarter. You get a little bit more for your bang for your buck.
Okay. That's something to consider. Look, these are all the different ways that you can engage with DraftKings. So college football is back. DraftKings is back here on the OG. We are very, very hype about this. And you can put your knowledge, like we're trying to put our knowledge, to the test with DraftKings and turn your picks into big profits. With live betting, rivalry week odd boosts, and more, DraftKings Sportsbook has everything you need every Saturday. And here's a little something special for first-time customers. New DraftKings customers, you bet $5, you will get $300 in bonus bets instantly. So here's what you do. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code OG25. That is code OG25 for new customers. You'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Joe, are you ready for me to read legal?
Let's go. You can do it.
I know you get mad at me because I just read directly from the copy. So I'm going to try this, see if I can do it. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 888-789-67369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, visit dkng.co/audio. Nailed it. Nailed it. Just like our friend Jordan Hudson nailed it on Saturday. Remember, before we got going at the Sports Podcast Festival at the Rialto on Saturday, which we'll talk about a little bit later on, Shelby Swanson, our friend from the News and Observer, was there, and she said, "Did you see Jordan posted on Instagram?" I go, "What? What did she? What? What did she do? What did she do?" So I looked at it, and she used the photo that our guy Ethan Hyman had taken, the one where Jordan Hudson's blowing a kiss to her boy, Bill Belichick, her special boy. And she was using Taylor Swift, "Look at What You Made Me Do." And we're like, Jordan is back. What does this mean, Joe? What does it mean? It's provocative. It gets the people going, right? Well, it turns
this is like a victory lap, right? That's what this was?
That's exactly what this is. It's a victory lap because we come to find out that the Hard Knocks style doc that was scuttled reportedly over Jordan Hudson not having any sort of control or executive producer status, they shopped it to Hulu. And we finally got the announcement that it will be running on Hulu. This is from the official Carolina football Facebook page.
I know that you guys have heard that there was a lot of interest in doing a, let's call it season-long documentary or season-long show about North Carolina football. And so I'm excited really to share with you that we will be doing that with Everwonder and Hulu that will showcase our football program. Okay, this is about the UNC football program. There's obviously a lot of interest in it, and it'll stream on Hulu later this fall. It's going to feature the players working hard, which you guys do, all right? It's about the players improving and getting better through their hard work, which you do, all right? And a program starting from where it started from several months ago to wherever it's going to go during the course of the season, which of course will be determined on the field, all right? It'll show our commitment to winning. It'll show our commitment to the team, all right? And that's our priority, all right? And that'll start.
Go back. Just go back to him with the whiteboard behind him.
That's our priority.
I've never been so excited about something in my life.
And that'll
Look over his left shoulder.
Yeah, I see UNC Charlotte.
Welcome to the fucking triangle, Bill. I am pumped. What is over his left shoulder is the state of North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
They play 4 games this year against the state of North Carolina. That's UNC Charlotte. That's Wake Forest.
Yeah.
I'll bet you the year's salary there's Duke and NC State just off the screen.
Yeah.
And when they beat them, they'll turn blue or they'll do some bullshit to celebrate winning the state title. Motherfucker, I did not know you had it in you. You're looking for Easter eggs for Jordan Hudson? I'm looking for anything that says that this guy cares or gets the triangle. I'm in. Give me that season. I'm so in right now.
I'm not. I'm still not in. I still don't think he gets it.
But Joe, he's trying to win the state title. Don't you see what this means? He doesn't care about the national championship. He doesn't care about the playoff. He's prioritizing being triangle good and beating the other teams in the state of North Carolina.
Well, you know what?
That's what's on the board behind him.
You know what? Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Maybe you are onto something here. I still think it's going to not. I think they're going to win 7, 8 games. It's not going to be this overwhelming earth shatter. I think they're going to lose to TCU. I think they're going to get it in their ear, as you like to say, against Clemson.
Okay.
It's not. I think they're going to lose to State. I don't think this is good. Essentially, what you're saying is that
that's literally Mac Brown doing Leonardo DiCaprio or whoever it is.
So
pointing at the board.
So there's a couple ways to look at this. You went through all of this to hire a guy to be state champions. That's what this is. You know, you could have gotten any jabroni to do that, right? That's not why you got Bill Belichick. That's not why you got him. But maybe.
Doesn't this show just a little bit that he is getting it? He's assimilating.
Perhaps.
Isn't that something to celebrate?
Perhaps.
Maybe with not my zeal that I just showed.
This is true.
But
this is true. You're onto something. But maybe I think what's coming around is that I have not been listening hard enough to how they have been sandbagging this upcoming year. And I should believe my own aspect. I think they recognize what I recognize in that, well, man, this ain't the pros. And they keep talking about like, we just got to get better every day and focus on these other things, right? And speaking of Mac Brown, we tend to do this thing where we only highlight the pinnacles of their career. So when they brought Mac,
the highlights,
when they brought Mac back, it was, well, he's a national championship winner.
One of 3 active coaches in college football with a national title.
I remember going to a basketball game when they brought Mac out at halftime and they had done this intro video and they did a slick thing where they had taken a photo of Mac Brown holding the national championship trophy with Carolina blue-gray color scheme overlay to make sure that it wasn't Texas burnt orange and that you couldn't really see Texas on the outfit he was wearing. Just that, hey, man, Mac Brown national championship winner. Fine. But you know what we don't talk about, or what we didn't talk about with Mac Brown when he came back? What did we not talk about with Mac Brown when he came back?
That the last, 3 or 4 years at Texas were the definition of mediocrity. But it's worse because at Texas, you do have the number 2 budget in all of college football, and you were still only going 7-6 and 8-4.
And it ended ugly. That man didn't want to leave. He went recruiting. Okay. That man went recruiting. Can't find me. I'm out.
Got bad news for you. It always ends ugly, including for Bill Belichick.
Exactly. And the one thing you talk about zeal, I'll tell you who has the most amount of zeal right now. It's the Boston area media, man. They are gobbling up all the sloganeering from Bill Belichick, and they are roasting his ass. I think it was WEEI. They're just roasting him on a consistent basis. This is from NBC Sports Boston. Who is this guy? Oh, it's Tom Curran. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize it was Tom Curran. Tom Curran's a guy who has been around the Patriots for a really long time. He knows where the bodies are buried when it comes to the New England Patriots.
I sent you this because I've spent a lot of time finding the good in Bill Belichick this summer, predicting that we're going to see the old Malcolm Butler, No. And then I saw another one where he was talking about the Eagles' old left tackle. When it was a run, he had his hand on his leg. Yeah. When it was a pass, he twitched his arm. And I'm sitting here going, we're going to get all these things from the big brain on Bill.
But you know what you haven't been focusing on or talking about when we talk about Bill Belichick?
The end.
The end. Well, Tom's talking about the end.
2017, Bill got into a pissing contest with the greatest player of all time that extended all the way through the season, and he extended it through the Super Bowl with a player named Malcolm Butler. The team lost 41-33 despite Brady throwing for 500. The next year, he tried to trade the greatest tight end of all time, arguably. That didn't work. They were able to win a Super Bowl thanks to him. The next year, he was able to piss off the greatest quarterback of all time to an extent that the player wanted to leave. And in 2020, after that player left, he went and won a Super Bowl. 2021, they said, Bill, we're going to get some people around you because you're really effing things up left and right. Things went a little bit better. But then the next year, he decided to put 2 of his pals in charge of the entire offense and just wandered along all off season.
Does this sound familiar? Who did he put on staff?
Ambiguously saying that we got it. You people sit there. They didn't got it. Then they pissed away the first round pick of Mac Jones. So Bill, making $25+ million a year, is mad now that he didn't get to treat an NFL franchise like his personal sandbox with no checks and no balance.
Oh no.
For the extent of his career until he got sick of coaching. To me, that is the height of entitlement.
Look, I get it.
It's almost like I heard your voice, but your mouth wasn't moving.
Here's the difference between the two, all right? Here's the difference. I don't have a Boston accent.
Sandbox, hiring his friends, making a bunch of money.
Oh, did you see
checks and balances?
Did you see the clip? Speaking of his friends, did you see the clip of Mike Lombardi as part of like what Hulu's going to be showing you?
No.
And it was just like it's all stuff you see at a college program, and they think they're reinventing college football.
Right,
And that's the hubris that I keep focusing on. Is like, you see the slogan that we put on the wall? Whoa. You guys put a slogan on the wall that players see that's in your school colors. Oh, and you also have guys that have come to the school who are now pros or Super Bowl champions. You put that on the wall too? What? Damn, man. Why didn't anybody think of that? But this is where I cannot wait to hate watch the Hulu show, man. I cannot wait. Housekeeping is brought to you by Enovana. Check them out online at enovana.com.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Enovana.
OGTriangleMediaShop.com. The pop-up shop closes this week. It shuts down on Labor Day. We've been doing throughout all summer. Well, summer's coming to a close. That means it's time to go ahead and get that merch if you haven't purchased it already. There was demand for white Comfort Colors pocket tees because there are those with beards that worry about beard dandruff. I don't care. I just do this every so often with the beard dandruff just to get it off me. I get it. I look better in a black shirt. It hides my man boobs better. But regardless, the white tee is slick. I'm not going to lie. The white tees are slick. So you can get them in a white version. You can get them in black. We've got the OG flag on this one with the Drunk OG on the back. We got the Dead Conference on a pocket with the 3 towers on the back. They come in tank top form as well. We also got an OG light shirt that our guy Michael put together with the party animals, which you'll see a lot more of as After Darks go on. But I stress this to you. The OGTriangleMediaShop.com pop-up shop closes Labor Day. So if you want these shirts...
Monday?
Yes. So if you want these shirts, if you want those hats, you got to get them this week. And they go back into the vault. So go check that out. Speaking of the After Darks and the party animals, Thursday, we are back. A little bit of housekeeping with the shows. We're still in some summer protocol. Show today, no show Tuesday, back Wednesday. And then we will have an After Dark Thursday night. That will act as our show Thursday. And then we'll have our mailbag on Friday because we have the YouTube membership channel up and running right now. So if you're watching on YouTube, there's a join button there on the desktop and on your Android app. If you're on iOS, you got to go to the desktop, I believe, because of the weird rules with Apple and Google and all that stuff. But either way, there's membership only videos. That's how we're going to do OG business. That's how we're going to do the mailbag the rest of the way. It's just $5. You can't get a tray for $5 anymore.
So don't forget now that we have some things coming up, now that we've cleared the festival, and thanks for everyone who supported us. Night Zero was amazing too over at Bond Brothers East Side. Yeah, great spot. OG Lime in the early infant stages. By the way,
I see you had a conversation with people at the brewery about what to do next. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you want to do that next summer? OG Lime in the winter. You want to do it now?
Yeah, you're probably right. We'll have to workshop that.
Okay.
But
okay, I'm with you. It's fine.
It's in the hopper.
It's probably better than OG Heavy.
Correct.
So
I still like OG Heavy. Wednesday the 3rd, you're going to be in Garner for hockey practice, right? 9-3. That's when I want to do this fantasy draft.
No. Hockey practices are Monday, every other Tuesday, and Thursday. Every Monday. I'll be in Garner from here on out.
Okay. Well, you'll be in. Well, you don't have to be there. We're going to do an NFL fantasy league.
Okay.
We need some people to participate. I think we have about 4 teams right now.
Okay.
We'd like to get to 12. We're going to do a draft on September 3rd, which is next Wednesday at Shady's. So send me an email, giglio.joe@gmail.com. I don't know what the stakes are going to be. I know that Ryan from Wings Over will be involved. But if you'd like to be in an NFL fantasy league with an OG-centric type people, please send me an email, giglio.joe@gmail.com. It'll be a 12-team league. And again, we'll do the draft in person at Shady's. It'll be on the Sleeper app. We used the Sleeper last year. I know a lot of people enjoyed that.
Yeah, people enjoyed that.
I think, will you do a team?
I'll hang out.
Okay. We'll both hang out because I have retired from fantasy.
Yeah.
But this is really a chance for our audience to kind of get together. And I know a lot of people, we did it for free last year, had fun. I'm not saying there needs to be stakes involved, but that'll be a decision that the people who are in the league, Matt Davis, Josh Whitaker, Ryan Malley, all those people. I think
we can throw in a bottle.
Yeah, I think Alex will be in.
Okay.
Yeah. We talked to him on Friday and Saturday. So, like I said, we got about 5 people committed right now. So we need a few more to get to that 12-team limit. The draft will be in person at Shady's on 9/3. It's a Wednesday night.
All right. Just hit up giglio.joe@gmail.com, and we'll get the thing going on that. I'll be there. I'll be drinking OG Light. It'll be a good time. As I mentioned, we got After Dark on Thursday. That's always brought to you by Bloomin' Blinds this season. All of our ACC conversations will be brought to you by Bloomin' Blinds. So check them out. Call them directly at 919-980-9815. Again, that's 919-980-9815. You can visit them online as well. Bloomin' Blinds. Just take the G off. BloominBlinds.com. Chris, local. He's going to take care of your house. He can take care of your office space as well. Automation, complete blackened rooms, no light.
I might need to bring Chris to the tailgate because that RV lot gets hot.
No.
I wonder what he can do for
have him connect with Steve and see if he can
That's what I'm saying.
Never know what happens. So call him today at 919-980-9815. Speaking of tailgating, is your grill ready? Is it in peak performance shape? Enough of this preseason stuff for your grill. It's ready to go. Football is back. And the best way to make sure that your grill lasts a long time, especially if you've invested in an outdoor kitchen, that kind of thing, ncgrillrescue.com is the place. ncgrillrescue.com. Eric's going to make sure that grill is clean enough to eat off of that day. I grilled my Weber yesterday. Threw some Butcher's Market on top of it yesterday, the signature steak tips. I was like, Eric would be so disappointed. But it's a Weber charcoal, I'm talking about some serious grills. You want to extend the life of them, and you want to make sure that it is running at optimal condition. NC Grill Rescue is going to make sure that happens. So ncgrillrescue.com. Also, Rowback, you got your game day fits? You ready to go?
I am.
You're always ready to go. Have you seen the new collections they've dropped for State, Carolina, App State, ECU?
The ECU stuff moved quickly. The Rowdy Dowdy sold out in a matter of hours.
Not surprised.
Hours.
Not surprised. So go to rowback.com. Use that promo code OG20 to save 20% off your order. You've used it before. I'm not saying you got to create a new email, but maybe you want to create a new email. I'm just saying. Also, big thanks to our guys at Longleaf Swan. We're just going to mention this. Today's their last day
to order for the tailgate.
For the tailgate package.
For Thursday. Yeah.
So if you got your grill, you got your plan, right? But maybe you don't have a plan. Maybe you're just looking. You got work. You're trying to get there. You're trying to be efficient.
Not everybody's Steve. Not everybody has a month to prepare for all of these things.
But you still want to knock it out of the park with your tailgate. Longleaf's going to make sure that happens. So today, Monday, August 25th, because I know some people will listen to these a little bit later. But if you're listening on Monday, August 25th, today is the day to get your order in for the tailgate package on Thursday.
And also a portion of that does go to the Holt Brothers Foundation. So it helps the Holt Brothers in their fight against cancer as well. So really cool deal that Adam has lined up for this football season. I've used Longleaf Swine to handle my tailgate needs before. The brisket burritos were just the biggest winner of the whole season. So
joining us in studio on the Heister Automotive Group microphone is David Lawrence. He is the general manager of the Carolina Mudcats, which will cease to exist at the end of the week, or at least the homestand at Five County Stadium. This is it for the Carolina Mudcats. David, thanks for coming through. I know this is kind of a weird, bittersweet week for the entire staff as you're closing a chapter on this stint of minor league, a very influential stint of minor league baseball here in the Triangle.
Absolutely, and thanks for having me. It's always great to chat with you guys. But yes, you're exactly right. It's it's bittersweet. It's 35 years. Many folks way before my time. I started in 2017. With the Mudcats when the Brewers bought the team. But there's been a long-standing group of full-time, part-time interns, et cetera, that have worked, and then the countless number of fans. So you get to know everybody over the years. So certainly some bittersweet feelings from the nostalgia point of view.
Now, speaking of nostalgia, you understood the assignment. You know us.
Yes.
You know us well.
Yes.
And when you walked in, you brought this bad boy. If you're watching on YouTube,
man,
it's
supposed to be tank top week anyway.
It is supposed to be tank top week, but this is a Rawlings.
It's legit.
This is when you would wear. This is the 2-piece, because I know the Marlins would do this as well. You got the white underneath. This is the vest that goes over it.
Correct.
This thing is beautiful. I'm going to have to spend another couple $100 framing some jerseys on this one. This one's definitely going up on the wall, so we appreciate that. But I utilized this jersey to go along with the logo. I even brought in an old tumbler in today. I'm 46. Okay. So when the Mudcats came onto the scene in the 90s, and you get those catalog, like the East Bay catalog back in the day, because my dad would order his Dolphins jerseys and all that kind of stuff. So as a kid, you'd be flipping through, and they would get to the minor league baseball hat collection. And when I saw that Mudcats logo, I had to have it. It was right off the page, like, that's different. That's cool. I need it. And I know Luke DeCock wrote about this in the News and Observer. For the younger audience, you have to understand at that point with minor league baseball, in order to break through, you needed something to differentiate yourself from the pros, be a little bit more fun, get crazy with the designs. That was an influential breakthrough design for minor league baseball that had many imitators after the fact.
Yep.
So I got to imagine with this being the final run, please tell me you've sold everything.
It's pretty close.
Okay.
I mean, the team store after the last homestand did look like the day after a Black Friday sale when it came to Mudcats merchandise. And so what we also realized is that in addition to the current merchandise that we had, we dug through the warehouse, and we didn't have to dig too deep because there were tons of old game-worn jerseys, just like the one you shared from an era of those 35 years of Mudcats baseball. There were autographed baseballs from, past players, from Francisco Lindor, Miggy Cabrera.
I mean, the Velcro on it?
Yeah. It was game worn.
They don't make them like this anymore,
no.
man. Jeez. All right.
And so we wanted you guys to get a taste of it because we felt the fans
Dontrell
for the
Willis.
absolutely.
Oh, there's
there's some.
I have an affinity for that era of Marlins, obviously.
Yep.
And yes, you mentioned Miguel Cabrera. I'm thinking Dontrell Willis.
Yes.
That was my dude with the Marlins. And they all came through.
They all came through. And when we dug up a lot of these pieces of history, we wanted to share it with the fans, share them with the fans. And so this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the first 500 through the gate are going to get a mystery bag. And in that mystery bag could be an old game program with the likes of, whether it was Michael Jordan that made an appearance, or
the other thing you brought,
or others.
It's amazing.
Game worn jerseys similar to the one and others that teams wore over the years. Autographed baseballs.
Oh, wait a minute! This is an original.
It is.
This is an original program.
It is.
Oh,
from that year. Yes.
You're making me frame this too, aren't you?
You may have to, and
because for a second there, I looked at the back.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say who it is.
No, but
because it's not Heaster. But if you're watching on YouTube, look at these vehicles, man.
Yeah. And yeah, look through some of the ads in there, and it will take you.
It'll take me back.
They
don't make peanut butter jars like that anymore. That's amazing. That's amazing.
So, David, you guys got 6 home games left.
That's right.
Starting on Tuesday.
Correct.
And you got tickets available to all these games?
We do.
Okay.
And then for the Friday,
did you make them a 6:30 start time just for me? Because I like to be early.
We did.
Okay.
In fact, they're 6:30.
Sorry, I got distracted. This smells game warm. Anyway,
and it was washed several times just to be fair.
With a kid who plays hockey, it doesn't matter how many times you wash this, man. It's just going to have a certain funk to it. But I appreciate that. I appreciate the funk.
Yes, anyway. There's definitely a little funk involved in that. But yeah, 6:30 for Tuesday through Saturday, and then 1:00 start on Sunday. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are our fan appreciation kind of focal points. Certainly we've got games, starting on Tuesday, Joe, as you mentioned, but just a whole fan appreciation kind of final opportunity to come out and see a game.
That's what I was curious about as you say goodbye to Five County and the Zebulon area. I have not been to a Mudcats game. Admittedly, I've not been to a Mudcats game since I lost. I can't go back because it's the scene of a big loss of mine when I lost a beer race.
You did, but you came
I
in
got
second.
smoked. Well, there's only two.
I didn't say that. You said that.
So I threw out the first pitch. The first pitch was a little high. It is what it is. I appreciate you having me out. It was a microbrews day, so I got a sweet microbrews jersey.
Yep.
I threw out the first pitch. It was a fun time. I'm still a little mad that I lost the beer race, but that's another story for another day. What I'm getting at, though, is that as I was hanging out with the family, and I've had some great times at 5 County with the kids, including back in my old 850 The Buzz days. We did a batting challenge out that way.
Yep.
Which I think Adam Gold still talks about because he almost hit a home run. Almost. He talks about how if he had just gotten a little bit different, it would have gone over. He almost had it. So Adam will talk about.
Was he batting lefty for Strawberry or no?
No,
Okay.
he was not doing that.
All right.
But my firstborn was a baby. And we had him out there. We got him in his Mudcats stuff. I think he still has a hat out there. I say this in that those are my interactions with the Mudcats. But when I went to that last game, you could tell the locals. And you could tell the people who had season tickets for a very long time. Yep. They knew the people who worked there. They were like on a first name basis. So that's got to be understanding the nature of the business and needing this refresh and the politics involved and all that kind of stuff. I am curious about just what the reception has been by the community in this final season at 5 County Stadium.
Yeah. No, and as you guys are fully aware, social media can bring out a lot of different viewpoints.
Yes.
Just to put it nicely.
That was a very political answer.
It was, and
but David, Joe can learn from you.
Absolutely.
I can learn from you guys too. So. But yeah. But overwhelming, the overwhelming response has been certainly nostalgia and bittersweet, but excited to see the final season, to come out and participate as a fan, to bring back some of the memories that many have talked about, generational of came out with my grandparents and my parents and now my kids and all of those pieces, to be able to experience that. And then understanding that, there's a new chapter, down the road, but we set out with this season to purposefully say, hey, 35 years of history with Mudcats baseball at 5 County Stadium deserves to go out with the fanfare and the love that it has earned, from not just folks that have worked here, of course, as we talked about, but all the fans and their families that have come out. So with that being the focus, that's the response has been outstanding in terms of, hey, I remember this, I remember that, I remember being there for this game. And that's always great to hear fans talk about some of those life experiences that they've had.
Yeah, it's the end of an era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just for minor league baseball as well, and that's where you're kind of like, you grip it a little bit. No, I'll be honest with you. You got one of the last affordable sporting events on the planet. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And, such a great spot that you guys were in, because there were a lot of rising stars there. That was, quite frankly, our former employer down the road, you never got a chance to see some of those guys coming up. And that was what from somebody who's from the New York area who only cared about professional baseball, Major League Baseball.
Right.
Yours was my first exposure to, wait a second, I can go to the game and get a hot dog and get a beer and actually get into the game for a decent price.
Yep.
And then see a Lindor where you're like, oh yeah, we're about to see that guy for the next 20 years in Major League Baseball.
Right.
And I can't help but be a little bit sad that chapter of minor league baseball ends with you guys,
right?
The Mudcats themselves. I know Wilson will be great. I know it will be. But it's hard not to be like a little bit sad about that particular element of these last 6 games.
Sure. But isn't that baseball?
There's a romantic, right?
There's a romanticism to baseball that other sports lack. And while I know that I've developed a reputation of not being a quote unquote baseball guy, I played baseball. I've been to enough baseball. I get why baseball has this pull on people. And what Joe's laying out is the same reason why I enjoyed going to minor league games, because you cannot get that at the highest level. You can tell it's community. To Joe's point, to my point earlier, you can, part of that romanticism is, I remember when I saw that guy when nobody knew who he was, like that kind of stuff. You can't do that in a lot of other sports. You can only really do it in baseball.
Well, because of the way, you're right, historically, the way baseball is set up with a farm system. And you have to, even if you are a top draft pick and you're getting a lot of signing bonus money, you're going to start and make a progression, up the chain. And that's baseball. But you touched on, you touched on something that's great, whether you're a big sports fan, modest sports fan, the same thing applies, in our world with minor league baseball. A lot of people come to these games and baseball is part of the backdrop. It's your families. It's saying, hey, can I spend 2 to 3 hours of semi uninterrupted time with my friends and family, have a beer, have a hot dog, spend time with the family, and have that kind of away from whatever else is happening. And I know you can say that about other sporting events, but both Joes mentioned this, is that the accessibility at minor league baseball levels, where you can see these players as they're starting, you can get an autograph, you can get close to the action, you can be right there. And then maybe you weren't the biggest baseball fan when you saw this guy come through, and then maybe you've grown into it, but then you can always say, hey, I saw him play at this point, and now you used, Miggy Cabrera, now he's a Hall of Famer,
right.
So.
Hey, and you're not there like on Thursday night over at Carter Finley, where you're going to be cursing it one way or the other.
That,
you know what I mean? That's kind of the nice part about that. We want the Mudcats to win, of course, but you're not like,
you're having a good time.
You're not leaving there being like, oh,
right.
Shit, man.
That's a perfect tie to the fact that when you leave, the chances that you remember who actually won the game are pretty slim.
Did you have a good time?
Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
And
did
you
the
enjoy,
kids have a good time?
Did the kids and did you hang out with friends?
Right.
And was that enjoyable?
And can I afford to eat lunch the next day? Yes.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
But that's also part of the romanticism that comes along with minor league baseball that people are going to associate. And it's like all things. I'm guilty of this, just like everybody else. It's this thing where you loved this thing, you had a good time, you're like, I should get back to it. But then life happens. You don't get out there as much as often. Then you find out they're going away, and you're like, wait a second, it's going away.
Yeah.
And then the outpouring comes out.
Right.
And then you start to have those thoughts like, well, where was this before? All those kinds of things. But things evolve. So in your mind, what has been the biggest evolution for minor league baseball? I mean, is it as simple as you've had a lot of affiliation changes and there's not a consistency? Does that even matter? Or is it just people's tastes over time kind of change?
I think it's a combination, not to just take the middle of the road, but sure. I mean, I think it really is a little bit of multiple things. Number one, yes, some of minor league, the crux of it has changed over more recent years, as a whole, but it's come at a time that's coincided with a lot of other opportunities for people to spend not only their disposable income, but their time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other opportunities for people to do things. And so when you combine that with the fact that, yes, you've still tried to stay manageable. You mentioned affordable family, pricing for an opportunity. You've tried to stay in that world. But yeah, there's a lot of things for folks to do, and you have to evolve with that.
Mm-hmm. I would think one of the things in the minors, now correct me if I'm wrong here, you had the pitch clock first.
Yep.
And do you have a challenge system this year?
Not at your level. Not at our level,
okay.
But there are levels that and we are looking forward in the future to prepare that at some point we will.
I was gonna say, you're kind of seeing not only the players who are going to be in the majors, but how the majors are using the minors now really as, hey, how do we improve our product? And I think that's really one of the better things that we've seen at the minor league in the last 5 years, I'd say.
Well,
you know what I mean? Because again, stripping the nostalgia and some of those other things, you're actually seeing, like Major League Baseball has to test this stuff somewhere.
Yep.
You know,
and that's and you're exactly right. And as this was becoming tested, once it became clear that it was going to be adopted at the major league level, you had the traditionalists, whether it was back from designated hitter and interleague play from years gone by to now you've got pitch clocks.
I saw John Smoltz this week proposed when baseball does expand to going to a first half and second half standings,
which is what
that'd be interesting.
Which is what a lot of the minor league, our league, the Carolina League does that. So once once the first half is done, you kind of reboot and you start over.
So the other curiosity I have in terms of changes, like from when you got there to when things are now, people's expectations of what they get at the ballpark have also changed too. Whereas I appreciate going to Five County Stadium as a throwback to what a baseball stadium is. Some people, they get expectations of other places and they want those things there too. I can appreciate it for what it was. Here's this kind of like in stasis, what stadiums looked like back in the day. I actually like the fact, call me a weirdo, but I actually like the fact that you're literally, even on the overhang, you're like right on top of the field.
Vertical as opposed to.
Yeah, you're vertical, right? So I actually appreciate that because I'm closer to the action that way. But it also doesn't really allow for like walkable spaces and all that other kind of stuff too. So that's another change to the fans have a different expectation of what they want when they go to games, but you guys have been trying to still give those people that even within the confines of what you have as a structure.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the current construct of Five County Stadium is right at 6,500 seat backs, and that was mandated when it was created as a AA franchise. You had to have seat backs that were at that level. And to your point, as you look at some of the other stadiums in other places, Fayetteville, Kannapolis, just in
these new places that are opening up, right?
That they do have that more, trying to find that mix of socializing fan interactive spaces to go along with your just traditional seat backs.
Oh, look at the Charlotte Knights. It's sitting there right in uptown Charlotte. And it's very much like, it's just a baseball field.
Right.
It's like an activation with like a baseball field there. So what I am curious though, but this doesn't take away from how you guys have been trying to be innovative and whatnot in the past. I'm old enough to remember when you actually had a fully functioning restaurant in a minor league baseball stadium, and that was a big deal.
Big deal, yeah.
With cattails.
Absolutely.
So I'm assuming you guys, big parties up at Cattails this week, right?
So you're right,
Okay.
and it's a perfect segue into, you talk about the throwback, you talk about the nostalgia, and that was one of the things that we wanted to do for Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week, and that was throwback pricing. So you can get tickets that are back to 1990s pricing. So $4, $5, and $6, for your tickets.
That's insane.
Your parking back to some of those 90s pricing, and then some concession items for the general fans, at reduced prices, again, back to those kind of 1990s pricing. And then with that, there is space up in Cattails, now Sky Lounge, but since we're throwing it back, certainly in that Cattails space, there's areas there where people have already sold that out. I think it is sold out.
It's sold out. Okay.
It's sold out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but that's fine. There's other spaces where we're having kind of a food and ticket combination for like $15, and you get free parking, or parking included. Sorry, you get parking included. You get a ticket, and you get food up in one of our picnic areas for $15. So again, throwing back some of those prices back to that era when early on, the Mudcats were new, as part of kind of thank you to the fans and an ode to history, there at Five County Stadium.
At any point, I know Hayes Permar is no longer the public address.
He moved on to bigger and better things.
Hayes gave us a lot of hospitality at the Rialto, so he's doing a fantastic job with the Rialto. The reason why I bring up Hayes, for those who don't know, Hayes was a PA guy for a couple of years. He would go viral. He had his net and all that kind of stuff. Are you bringing him back so we can finally fulfill the dream of him heckling an opposing team player, that he actually comes up and wants a piece of Hayes?
Well,
can we make that happen?
So I don't know if he'll make it out this weekend, but to be fair, he and some former colleagues of his, former Mudcats, made it out to a game a couple of weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and as a fan,
Mhm.
and he was in true Hayes form, shockingly as that may be to believe.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
and was let's say politely but loudly interacting with the opposing players.
Good.
So,
But nobody wanted a piece of him.
A proper goodbye.
a proper right. So
Okay.
maybe not this weekend.
I mean, we started the show with a fight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
between,
Parents.
the
Well, no.
parents,
Father-son.
father-son dynamic,
Yeah.
thanks to Kansas State. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we close things out with Hayes going viral. One last time.
It very well could be, but yes, he has already made it out, and
Okay,
hopefully, on Saturday there will be we're going to host probably 100 to 120 former employees,
Mhm.
front office that'll be at the game, hanging out, and I'm sure telling all kinds of fun, mostly true stories about the past. I would say
It's baseball. You gotta have some.
you got to have a little bit of
little
that.
embellishment.
Fishtail, if you will.
So
Yes.
maybe he can make it out to that. But again, we said that the best tribute that we could think of would be to have as many fans, former fans, current fans in general, just to come out for that final weekend. And so
Yeah.
we wanted to make it as enticing as possible, and we wanted them to get a piece of some of the history and have it culminate on Sunday, where everybody that's in attendance Sunday, all the fans, we're going to invite them to come down on the field and take a photo with the team, play catch after the game,
Oh, it's cool.
take a photo, just come out on the field and kind of take a little bit of memory there with them.
So you handed me a baseball. It's a Southern League baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Dusty Baker, is it?
It is. That was back during some of the futures games and some of the barnstorming games that took place over the
And
years.
this is a real autographed ball because you've got some fading. This is not one of the ones my dad used to try to like hand off to me. Like, oh no, son,
Yeah.
this is like this is an Oakland A's. That's got Jose Canseco's autograph on it. Like, no, Dad, it's a stamp.
right.
Like, what are you talking about?
No. I mean that's legit, and you can tell it's got a little of that Sandlot dog saliva on it,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
potentially where it's seen some wear over the years, but yes, it is. These are legitimate pieces of history, not stamped.
So we're gonna have to. It's going away. Like, can I get? Well, actually, no. You probably can't sign off on this because there's a bigger franchise in charge. But like, I can do some work with this Mudcats logo. That's already acting almost like a G, Joe.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
I'm just saying we might have to do a dead logo shirt based on one of these.
We'll run
give
it
it
through our
time.
legal department.
We'll give it time.
I will say this that we and the Brewers will continue to own the IP and marks and logos.
I think that's David saying, "Hey, chill on that."
No, that's
Chill on that.
David saying that there could be an opportunity in the future for that to resurface in a throwback manner at some point in time.
Perfect.
I like it.
Details
Perfect.
to be determined.
That will be our next conversation.
That's
because,
yeah.
as we said, this is just simply a chapter closing for the franchise. Because what comes next will be in Wilson, which we can have plenty of time to talk about next season. This is about the Mudcats and closing things out. So to kind of put a bow on this, you got your final homestand at 5 County Stadium.
Yep.
We're talking what, 6 nights?
6 nights.
Phew.
And
There's gonna be a lot of tears, man.
That there will be there'll be a lot of hugs, a lot of tears, but hopefully a lot of smiles too, because of the memories. And yeah, you're right. Tuesday through Sunday, final regular season.
Mm-hmm.
There certainly could be an opportunity for some playoffs, but we'll see what happens once we get through the regular season. But yeah, Tuesday through Sunday, big nights are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Big part of those nights that we didn't mention, but Friday and Saturday, last 2 fireworks nights at 5 County Stadium.
Okay,
So
the famous
both,
fireworks.
and they have been a big part of people's core memories, I think, for years.
Mhm.
And we will have those 2 on Friday and Saturday. Picture on the field Sunday. There's we're giving away shirts off our back to some lucky fans, BP jerseys, and some other good prizes. Plus the first 500 mystery bags each night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. you might be able to grab some of this memorabilia from the past 35 years. I mean,
I gotta be there for
What
the
a
grab
win.
bag.
Yeah.
I gotta be there for that.
You got your sneak peek at kind of the potential
this is all good
mystery
stuff.
bag here, but yes,
This is quality stuff, man.
you know,
I honestly thought that you guys were just kind of doing this as like a throwback. I didn't realize it's the OG.
No, that was
in like prime mint condition.
Yes.
Program. This is amazing.
There's some history there that we certainly
These
like I
radio
said,
stations don't even exist anymore.
Yes, absolutely correct.
Look at that phone, Joe. I had that phone. You know, I got 30 minutes of talk time a month on that phone. And if you went a minute over, it was like $3.99 a minute. It was crazy stuff back in the day.
And that took the place of the old bag phone. So
that's right.
I mean,
that's right.
Yeah. And don't even think about trying to text someone in a very quick manner because of the way that was set up.
See, Joe, look how quaint. No website, no nothing. You want the end to know? Call us.
Get us. Call us.
Call.
Yeah.
Call to get the newspaper. What website? I'm sure. I don't even think Nando Net had started at that point.
What year is that? 94?
This would be, it would be 94.
Yep.
So I don't even think
Early.
Nando Net had kicked in yet back in the day. All good stuff. Well, David, I appreciate you coming through, man. Thanks for the goodies. You know us very, very well. We love old stuff.
David's a true professional.
To put things here in the
I made it
in the moving museum here.
I did it.
You did what?
I'm on my P's and Q's today.
That's next time. Okay.
You're great as always.
We don't want to get David.
Always.
We don't want to get David in trouble.
Ever.
No,
absolutely not.
There's plenty of time for that at tailgates.
That's right. That's the key word.
Joe, it's like sometimes we have to remind Joe, save your thoughts on baseball without the baseball employees in the studio.
Perfect.
Sometimes it's simple as that.
Perfect.
Dave, we appreciate it. Hey, man, good luck this week. I know it's going to be a fun time. I'm going to try to get out there just to kind of take it all in and say goodbye to the Mudcats. And then, we'll have you back in studio.
Love it.
We'll be in Wilson, don't forget, in September.
We will.
Yeah. For the Hall of Fame Baseball Museum golf tournament.
Yes.
We'll be out there. So I'm sure we will see you.
We will be participating and see you guys as well. So it'll be a great time. But hey, again, you guys are great. Excited for how you guys continue to grow, on this platform. And it is refreshing. It is great. But it's always a pleasure for you guys to have me and others out here. So we appreciate it.
We will see you in different gear the next time.
Absolutely. Yes.
Speaking of trailblazers, the Mudcats were trailblazers back in the 90s with their logos and minor league baseball initiatives and things like that. Gordon Miller, also a trailblazer back in the 80s with the no closing cost refinance and mortgage, Joe.
I'm trying not to rope Gordon into betting on tennis.
Oh, geez.
But we're knee deep in some baseball, Gordon and I.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you guys going up to Danville anytime soon?
No. He's up in Michigan right now, where he has all kinds of access.
He can do whatever he wants up there.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
And so he's you talk about a man who's got to live by a code. He does not believe in betting on apps. He will only go to the casino and actually place paper bets. He's got to feel it. He's got to touch it. He's got to see those numbers.
But this tracks for Gordon because he also doesn't believe in paying closing costs.
Right. He doesn't believe in waste. He lives by a code.
Doesn't want to do that. So contact Gordon Miller and Miller Lending today. 919-447-3377. You can go to millerlending.com/the OG. That's our landing page. You'll find out how you can save money by not paying closing costs. Now you're thinking, well, wait a minute. Aren't the rates a little bit higher? No. The rate is the rate. There's no games or gimmicks. That's just the rate, man. Yeah. And if the rate comes down in the next 6 months, you can refinance again, not pay closing costs, and save money every single time. I have saved a lot of money refinancing with Gordon Miller over the years. You can do the same thing as well. You can consolidate debt while you're at it. So contact them today, millerlending.com/the OG, 919-447-3377. Now, speaking of homes, you might be in the market for something new. You might have to move. Mudcats are moving. Maybe you got to move. Situations are that you just have to pick up and go, but you want to make sure that you're not sitting on 2 mortgage payments for a considerable amount of time. So you need to contact our friends at Hometown Realty, myhtr.com. I don't think anybody in the market understands the trends better than them. So what you do is you go to the website, myhtr.com. You can buy, sell, and calculate, and you can give them specific things. Like I joked about the other day, I want to be near 2 roosters. Well, they'll make sure they can find some inventory for you near 2 roosters, right? So contact them today, myhtr.com. You've bought a house, you finance with our friends at Miller Lending. You know what you got to do? You got to go to Whitaker and Hamer, wh.lawyer, wh.lawyer, attorneys and counselors at law that can make sure that all your legal needs are taken care of. And you got to celebrate, right? Or maybe you're so busy running around like with showing a house and taking it to close and everything else. You don't have time to sit down and grab a lunch. No big deal. Just download the app, Happy and Hail. Use the promo code OG25 when you use the app. Order it, schedule it, pick it up, go about your business. And when you use the promo code, you'll get 25% off that order. So contact our friends today at Happy and Hail and use that promo code OG25. So we are recording today's podcast like we typically do mid-morning. So we don't know, as things are happening, what the 53-man roster cutdown is looking like for the Carolina Panthers. We'll probably discuss that a little bit more on Wednesday after all that stuff and all the moving parts have finally stopped. I will say this, though. One of the interesting things that has come out of the NFL preseason is the wide receiver group for the Carolina Panthers. And I know Dan Morgan, during the final preseason game for the Carolina Panthers, was on the Panthers TV and talked about how he was comfortable bringing all these wide receivers, right? And maybe. A lot of rumors related to Adam Thielen and the Minnesota Vikings. They have a suspension. They're looking for a replacement potentially the first couple of games. So, hey, there's a guy, as Joe Person jokingly said on Twitter, well, there's a guy on the Panthers roster that still has real estate in Minnesota, Adam Thielen. Maybe that makes sense. I look at it 2 ways. From the perspective of you've got a lot of guys vying for this job. You've got this youth movement with McMillan. You expect more out of Xavier Legette. You like what you have in Jalen Coker. Jimmy Horn Jr. is there in the mix, all that stuff, right? You got Hunter Renfrow. That you might want to allow for the youth movement to take over this season. And if you get something decent for Adam Thielen from Minnesota, you do it. But you're making a face, and I'm thinking to myself, what exactly are you getting for Adam Thielen? So if you were to tell me that you're going to get some valuable picks in return for Adam Thielen, then that's a no-brainer to me. But do you really think you're going to get valuable assets back for Adam Thielen at this point? And the answer to that is no. So scrap it, move on, and give Bryce Young a trusty, veteran, reliable wide receiver that he needs while these young guys are coming along. So on one hand, it does make sense if the assets are right. On the other, I don't think they're going to get the assets.
You know, I make a face, but they traded a guy last year to the Cowboys. He was a terrible receiver. Mm-hmm. They got something in return for him. They fleeced the Cowboys, the kid from Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They traded Deontay Johnson
to Pittsburgh,
who's been cut like 78 different times. They got a pick swap out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I should not, that's not me. The NFL is just so weird when it comes to trades. That's all. That's all.
Yeah. You're thinking of Jonathan. It took me a second. Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah. Boy, Panthers and their receiver, Panther fans and their like obsession with receivers cracks me up a little bit.
I do feel like we could do an entire bit of name that receiver. You know, like, can you give us the year? Can you give us how many games he played? You know, like all that kind of stuff. Would be
random Carolina Panthers receiver, Duke freshman star,
or European tour golfer.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Panthers, funny how the Panthers made Shedeur Sanders look like a MVP candidate at the beginning of the preseason, and now there's a debate, and you're seeing it nationally as to whether or not Shedeur Sanders deserves a spot on the roster or what the Cleveland Browns are going to do. I have never seen this much coverage over what the Cleveland Browns are going to do with their QB room, and not a single one of those QBs
is the starter.
Is really not really starting caliber. Yet but I know why. We're doing this because it's Shedeur Sanders, and Shedeur Sanders is a talking point. You can bring in Deion Sanders and all that kind of stuff. But my takeaway from this is, going back to the Panthers, it goes back to the defense. Let's not forget when they played. He was making throws and he played the entire. You got enough tape out of Shedeur Sanders that people were going out of their minds to discuss him as a potential MVP candidate, or that he's taken control of the starting job, or whatever it is. Or maybe the Panthers defense has been a problem, will continue to be a problem, and will be a focal point of the start of the season when they get things going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys continue to dominate the headlines.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons, the Dallas Cowboys do these tours of their facility at AT&T Stadium because the Dallas Cowboys
they can make money.
They can make money on
Yeah.
it. The Dallas. I saw this on Awful Announcing. Is Jerry Jones more interested in content or winning? And I think the answer is clear: content. Because one way or the other, if they lose and he's interesting, people will still watch. If they win and they're interesting, people still watch. So he's in the content business. And even though there have been multiple stories highlighting how players find these tours distracting, Jerry don't care because he's making money off of it. But there happened to be an Atlanta Falcons fan who was taking this tour. And Micah Parsons is eating nachos as he's walking by the tour. And the Falcon guy says, hey, man, we could use you. And Micah Parsons just does the call me while he's walking by.
Yeah.
It's going swell in Dallas. Going absolutely swell.
There's two teams I have faded really hard in my futures bets this year.
Yeah.
One is the Dallas Cowboys.
Fair.
I just think they're going to be a mess.
Fair.
Like how you look at Micah Parsons, and I'm sure they'll get the deal done, all these other things, but it's just like, you're an idiot. Just stop being an idiot. And the other are the Colts. And I know people are like pushing back on this take, like that they're tanking because of Daniel Jones, because they're like, no, Anthony Richardson's really bad. You don't get it. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. They knew how bad Anthony Richardson was. And their idea of upgrading was going to get a quarterback who was cut, not benched, fucking cut by the New York Giants, who were the worst team in football last year.
So it's interesting you bring up Anthony Richardson, and I think this is getting back to the Panthers. This is something that I hope people focus on when it comes to Bryce Young. Look at the people he's been compared to, or what the Panthers should have done instead of taking Bryce Young. Anthony Richardson is one of those guys.
Yeah, it was an alternate.
And I was like, you'd like to call him the scratch off. But here's the problem with the scratch off, because I play a lot of scratch offs thanks to my dad.
Yes.
Anytime I go to my house, I'll hit my mom up, like, hey, cafecito. And which did the trick on Saturday, right?
Thank you very much to Dilly for taking care of me.
So I'll hit my mom up, like, hey, coffee time. Like, yep, got you. She makes some Cuban coffee, a little pick me up while I'm in Cary. And my dad usually has a stack of scratch offs. Now, I prefer the Lotteria. I think that's a fun game.
Okay.
I love the Lotteria. The crossword one, not a fan of. But my dad keeps buying the worst scratch off ones, like the ones that cost like $30, promising you millions of dollars. And it's just to give you a set of numbers. And if one of those numbers hits, you're good, right? You know what happens with scratch offs more often than not? You lose.
Right.
Best case scenario, you get $10. That covers the cost of the ticket. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I get what you're saying with the scratch off, but if I miss on a scratch off, well, hey, it's my dad's $10, not my $10, but that's my dad's $10, and you move on with your life. What I'm shocked by with the Colts is how many times can they lose with their scratch offs and still be employed like that? Like especially some decision makers behind the scenes.
There's a lot going on with the Colts. Obviously, the death of Jim Irsay.
Yes,
kind of.
But it goes beyond that.
No, it does. And they've been in
a
a spin cycle since Andrew Luck, and I get that. And the easiest way to reset in football is to tank, and get a quarterback. And I believe that is what they're in the process of doing.
Now, speaking of the preseason, you presented to me what could be the greatest preseason tweet of all time. This is from Ben DiNucci, ACC legend.
Wolfpack Pro. Pack Pro.
This is a picture of a beer, pint of beer. Already had a sip from it. Not many beers better than the airport. I just got cut from the NFL for the 7th time beer. Trust me, you wouldn't understand.
Salute, man. Salute.
Jeez, man.
JM lost to the Wolfpack at JMU. Then the next year is at Pitt, lost to the Wolfpack again. Ends up with the Cowboys for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Speaking of tanking, while they were dillying around with Dak Prescott.
I'm noticing a trend of ACC quarterbacks you can utilize to tank.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, Ben DiNucci. Oh, hey, Tommy DeVito. Hey, Liberty DeVito. Let's go. Right. And then, of course, Daniel Jones. Who could have saw that coming, right? Speaking of Pac Pros, another one. Are you ready for the Russell Wilson? Russell going to New York, right? Okay. How do they handle these things when it comes to quarterback debates and controversies and those types of things? Jackson Dart is doing the thing, right?
Yeah, Jackson Dart had an amazing preseason for whatever that's worth.
And yet, who is starting?
Russ.
For how long?
Boy, the Giants are such a weird team to me. Bill Belichick really should be the head coach of the New York Giants.
And maybe he will next year.
I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe not.
They're a weird team. I actually think they're going to be better this year, but I also know that they play the most difficult schedule in the NFL. So I think Russ is safe at this point in his life, right? In his career? Like he's safe?
I mean, safe in what sense?
I mean, you're going to minimize your mistakes in terms of turnovers.
Oh, sure.
You know, like he can still throw a great deep ball. They got a great receiver in Neighbors who he can unlock a little bit because he throws a great deep ball.
He ain't the hot thing, and you also have a coaching staff that's probably on the hot seat, all things considered. So
right,
Russ is going to have. He's old. It's like the Anthony Richardson thing. People get hyped up by what they don't know yet. Russ is a known commodity. I see what you're saying in that he is safe and he's probably going to help you win some games, but that's not what people want.
But I'll tell you this too. We talked a lot about this with Bryce Young.
Yeah,
there's a value in sitting and learning.
Oh, I agree.
And taking your time.
Agree.
To the point where you're ready and you don't get broken.
Yeah, I agree.
It says a lot for Bryce Young that he was able to recover from the way that he was treated his first 2 years. It's a lot. Okay. And if you're the Giants and you think you have something in Jackson Dart, there is absolutely no rush to get him out there while you have not only Russ, but also Jameis Winston. So I actually like the situation that the Giants.
Did you see the assist eat the dub vid?
Jameis is now a rollback guy, so I'm on Team Jameis all of a sudden.
Well, careful.
I know.
Careful.
Just saying.
Anyway. That's it for the NFL news. We have one item from the social media dump as we're running out of time. We'll get to some more social media dumps on Wednesday.
We got time.
We did have a request for a jingle for the social media dump.
Okay. All right.
But this is from, speaking of Roback, I got Roback all up in my ESPN feed here. You sent me.
I don't even know how to properly set this up for you.
Drama ensues in Medvedev Bonzi match at U.S. Open. I had no idea the U.S. Open was happening. Is it over?
Just started.
It just started. Okay. I'm very plugged in with tennis, but I know why you're into tennis.
Yeah, I'm going to go context free on this and just see what part of this amuses you.
Looks like a photographer had just first serve to the court. Ladies and gentlemen, because of the delay caused by an outside interference.
Getting the first serve, and now Medvedev's going to have a word. Medvedev encouraging the crowd right now to keep booing.
And it's the first serve. How you want to go home? He wants to go home, guys. He doesn't like to be here. He gets paid by the match, not by the hour. Yeah. What did Riley Opelka say?
Let's play. Exactly.
All right, now I'll add the context.
So
he was looking.
You ready?
Okay, so I'm confused. So it was a camera person was walking onto the court.
I will now provide the context.
Yeah, please provide the context.
So Daniil Medvedev was losing, and he was about to be eliminated from the U.S. Open. He was to Benjamin Bonzi, and Bonzi had beaten him at Wimbledon as well.
Sure.
Medvedev has formerly won at the U.S. Open. So obviously he's not trying to go home in the first round of the U.S. Open, the major championship that he's won, right? So he's down now. It's match point. Okay. Bonzi is serving. He serves his first serve into the net. Then a photographer walks down the sideboard where he's supposed to walk, just not in the middle of a not between points like that.
Mm-hmm.
The photographer walks out of the way. He wasn't on the court.
Yeah, he was in the background.
He was
if you're watching
all
the
the way-
video, he's in the background.
And so the umpire overreacts to the photographer walking, okay, and gives Bonzi a first serve instead of just giving him the second serve where it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
So Medvedev comes over and now is carrying on and says, "Are you a man?" to the umpire, does the whole thing. Oh, he wants to go home. He is paid by the match because this is at 11:45 at night when this is happening.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, this is the classic. The officials just want to go home, man.
Yeah. So now the crowd literally will not shut up because they're cheering and they're cheering and they're booing and they're cheering. And Bonzi was being a little bit of a softie because if I was Bonzi, I would have just set up, served, and gone home.
Yeah.
The match ends.
Yeah.
Okay. Bonzi is sitting there waiting like a little bit of a baby. Okay. And Medvedev, meanwhile, is
doing his thing.
Going crazy. Yeah. Joe, there's a 5-minute delay between his first serve and the ruling because the crowd will not stop because it's 11:45 and they are liquored up and ready and gambling on this.
Clearly.
Okay.
That's like can we cut to the chase? There's money involved here in New York along with the liquor.
And now all of a sudden you throw in, a little bit of drama, old school Jimmy Connors, John McEnroe style, which is what Medvedev's playing up. So, of course, Bonzi then serves his first serve, fault, and the place goes crazy. Medvedev ends up breaking Bonzi, winning the set, staying alive, and now Bonzi's completely unhinged. He goes back to the locker room. Medvedev wins the fourth set 6-love. He was getting worked like a rib in the first 3 sets. He somehow wins. This guy becomes so unhinged that Medvedev comes back, wins 6-love. Somehow Bonzi comes back, wins the 5th set 6-4.
Okay.
So I'm sitting here going, how is any of this happening?
Yeah.
And then when they go back and show the replay in between sets, the photographer literally is like,
in the corner.
It would literally be like somebody at a football game walking down behind the bench. And you'd be like, it would be the akin of a referee stopping a football game because somebody walked behind the bench.
Yeah, it would be the equivalent of me being a little slow to my spot at Cameron Indoor Stadium, and they're on the other end of the court, and them going, "No, stop the game."
Yeah, I was gonna say, imagine Brian Kersey coming out and be like, "No,
stop it,
no,
stop."
And imagine, the visiting team hit a 3-point shot, and Duke was like, "No, the 3-point shot doesn't count because Ovies wasn't in his seat."
Yeah,
and it's like, what?
Yeah, and they won't let me jump the table because I have to go around. I gotta go around. Anyway.
So it was wild.
I'm kind of mad I missed that.
Yeah. Curse or don't, Joe.
Big thanks to the Butcher's Market for handling the food. Kenneth knocked it out the park, man. Kenneth and the crew knocked it out the park on Saturday at the Rialto for the Sports Podcast Festival. The steak and cheese looked immaculate.
Undefeated, baby.
I just made the mistake of not waiting to get it. He had packed up and left. I was kind of like, oh.
Undefeated.
But it's all good because I busted out the steak tips yesterday on the grill, and they were fantastic as always. It's very hard to screw up the steak tips. Very hard.
No, they do such a great job.
They do a great job. And you can get them to cater an event. That's the cool thing. They came out to us, they had the food truck. It was great. They can do the same for you. Check them out online at thebutchersmarkets.com. You get all the tailgating items that you need at the Butcher's Market. May I suggest you elevate your tailgate game by getting a pint of ice cream or more, bringing it in a cooler, from our friends at the Butcher's Market. I'm sorry, at Two Roosters. Now, speaking of Two Roosters and football,
they're expanding.
They are expanding. This week, with the return of college football, they will be at home Duke football games. Even more reasons to check out Manny Diaz's squad. Might be the best team in the triangle. And now the game day experience is even better because they got Two Roosters at Wallace Wade. So they got a new flavor called Devil Tracks. That'll be a vanilla base with homemade brownie bits, fudge sauce, and M&Ms. Of course, the darker shade of M&Ms. So that's all at Wallace Wade for this upcoming football season at Duke for the home games. So check them out online at tworoosters.com. I mentioned I was grilling. Mosquito Authority, Pest Authority, getting the job done, spraying the areas, making sure the mosquitoes are kept in check. You can get that as we're into the last throes of summer. Mosquito activity is still a thing. Check them out online at bugsbite.com. Again, that's bugsbite.com. And of course, our guy, Matt Davis, State Farm, insuregarner.com. Give him a call at 919-779-8277. You might think you've got good rates on your home and auto. There's only one way to find out if you can go lower, if you can save more money. And that is by calling Matt at 919-779-8277, Joe.
Believe it or not, they'll answer the phone and have a conversation with you.
Crazy.
About how to save your money.
That's insane. What much like when I was going through the Mudcats, the Mudcats program. Wait a minute. I had to call the News and Observer to get something? What? You mean there's phone numbers in here that don't require the area code? That's crazy. So give them a call, 919-779-8277. I am lost in this Mudcats program. I mean, look at this thing. Look at that satin jacket that was for sale at the bait shop.
That was
back in the day. Yeah, it's funny.
Boy, if you had one of those and Hayes doesn't, man, he would come here and
he would show it off.
It would be a problem.
He would show it off. It's funny thinking about the Mudcats before we take some sports phone calls. You know, one of my first jobs in radio, again, this gets back to the romanticism of baseball, as we talked about. One of my first jobs at 850 The Buzz was running the board for Mudcats games. Patrick Keenis was the play-by-play man for the Mudcats at that time. We're talking 2000, 2001 timeframe.
Yep.
I would also run the board for Canes games as well with Chuck Hayden. But there was a little bit of a difference with the Mudcats in that we were the network.
Okay.
So there was this thing called an ISDN line, which was probably the best, direct communication for broadcast you could get at that time. Okay. ISDN was a pretty big deal. Much better than using a normal phone line. Mixed minus issues sometimes with an ISDN, Joe.
Yeah.
That's where mixed minus comes into play. Anyway,
mixed minus is way off on this.
So I would sit there, the old where Anthony is now, Capital Pizza Box. That's where Capital Creations used to be. I would get takeout from Capital Creations, set up, and I would have to hear Patrick. There was no network tones. It was literally me at the board waiting for Patrick to say, on the Carolina Mudcats radio network, hit a button, bang, right? Heaven forbid you had to go to the bathroom and the inning went quick. There were some times I came back to dead air. That was a problem. Regardless, the network was so throwback-ish on AM signals, whereas we had that direct line. We had affiliates call the phone and then be put on hold. And that's how they would carry the game. Peak technology, man. Peak technology.
I love it.
But yeah, man, that's how I would rack up part-time hours back in the day, run the board for Mudcats. And I couldn't tell you who won or lost those games. No. And Patrick always did a great job, and you could hear the crowds and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, man, it's kind of a weird nostalgic end to an era.
Tony's retiring, by the way.
Yeah, I'm hoping Tony Haynes. I want to say Tony. I got to text Tony. I had texted Tony Haynes last week when the news came out that this would be his final season.
Yeah.
And I said,
football. He's doing football, and then he's done.
He's done.
I actually know who's doing basketball.
Okay.
I can't tell you.
You can't give away the news? Is it somebody?
No.
Is it somebody we know?
Mm-mm.
Have they been on the show?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's not you?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I know it's not me because play-by-play, all that stuff, I am terrible at that. But yeah, I think I got to text Tony after today's show and see if he has time to come through the studio. Before things get going. But we'll catch up with Tony.
One of the first stories I ever wrote for Technician was about Tony Haynes.
I don't even want to talk.
At the time, he was on the Duke Sports Network.
Duke Sports Network. Look, man, Tony will always be a Skyhawks analyst.
That's
in my
right.
book. He will always be a Carolina Cobras analyst in my book.
Did Tony do the Cobras?
Gary Hahn and Tony Haynes did the Cobras as well because it was part of the radio deal.
Okay.
I also ran the board for that.
I was plugged in with the Cobras, man.
Dude, you don't know part-time life until you've done a preseason Carolina Cobras football game in the 850 The Buzz.
I got sent on the road with the Cobras that first year because remember the Canes were terrible.
They're awful.
And it was people were like going to those games. There was like 15, 16,000 people at those games.
It was a party, dude.
Yeah.
It was a party.
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports phone and curse or don't.
Dude, look at that. See that Range Rover?
Don't do it.
You see that Range Rover on that? It's money. Anyway, big thanks to Nature's Relief. Check them out, naturesreliefhempstore.com. They'll deliver to you.
I didn't know that.
They'll deliver to you. I like going there. I like talking to the crew.
Yeah.
They give you some pointers on what you like, what you might not like, that kind of stuff. So check them out at naturesreliefhempstore.com.
Drinks, gummies. Yeah. Stuff for your dogs.
I had to tell
those new calming things calming treats for the dogs.
I had to tell a friend of ours about that. They got a dog with a lot of anxiety right now. A lot of changes going on. I was like, Joe just bought a bunch of stuff for his dogs.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, she enjoyed the fact that the dog's name is Bon Jovi.
Yeah, big boy. He's not the one with the problems, though. It's
Wait,
Lulu's got the
Lulu's
problems.
got the problems?
Yeah.
I thought it was the older gentleman.
Bon Jovi's always liked people, but hated other dogs.
Okay.
Lulu loves other dogs, but hates people.
Gotcha.
It's quite a combo.
That is a hell of a combo. All right, let's go to a 252.
Hey guys, Cal here. So just wanted to call and recap the weekend a bit. So once again, kudos on the podcast fest this past weekend. I thought the whole weekend y'all did a great job. I thought all the podcast guys that came, everyone did a phenomenal job. I thought Friday night was awesome with week 0. I loved it over at the east side. Heard Hand in the Dirt last year, this time. So I've been listening to them since you guys had them out the first time. So it was good to see them live again. They just always do a great job. And then going into Saturday, I thought you guys always do great, but thought Big Screen and Split Zone were awesome as well. So adding them to the podcast rotation. So appreciate you broadening my horizons again. Also want to just comment on, I brought a buddy with me who isn't really in the local sports podcast realm. It's not really something he listens to regularly, but he's been wanting to check out the Rialto. So he came along with me Saturday night. And for someone who has never listened to any of the podcasts that were there, he had an incredible time. Like, he thought it was awesome. He thought, on the way back, we, just brought lots of conversations about all the different things that were talked about. So just, want to say that someone who wasn't part of the realm already and wasn't kind of part of or had listened before. So for just an average person walking in that had no clue what they were going into, he had a phenomenal time. So just kudos to you guys again. And Ovies specifically, I had the cheesesteak from Butcher's Market. My God, I had one before you mentioned it. And I hadn't had lunch that day, so I thought about going back and getting a second one, and was really disappointed when you said they were already gone. But that sandwich was incredible. So anyway, as always, you guys do a great job. But yeah, hope your week's going well. Can't wait for all the games this week. And look forward to next year's. Later, guys.
Yeah, appreciate the call on that. The Sports Podcast Festival was a fun time. Again, big thanks to Split Zone Duo for hanging out, Big Screen Sports for coming through, Home Field for providing the shirts, and of course, most importantly, Hayes and the Rialto and Kenneth and the crew at the Butcher's Market for coming through and feeding people. We turned some people into OG Light fans. People had not had the beer yet. They had it on draft and in can because they could.
They did.
You're making a face.
I feel bad about the water.
Oh, that was your fault.
Was it my fault?
I thought Hayes had added, I think, is it LaGuardia that has the fountain that comes down from
Atlanta.
the Is it Atlanta has that? Okay. I thought maybe that's Hayes had added that to
my fault, but
it was a good water feature. The place didn't catch on fire. So it's all good.
And the air conditioning worked.
Yes. That's good too.
Yeah.
It was a nicer day. It wasn't like ridiculously hot like last year, right? You had a combination of things going on. But no, look, Sports Podcast Festival was a lot of fun. We appreciate everybody who showed up. A great crowd, which that was never in doubt. And we'll do it again next year. Hats. We sold a lot of hats. That was good. People enjoyed those. Those triangle good upside down hats, man. It's almost like we should
sold 3 of those, I think, because we had 3 youths there, basically.
Yeah. We should probably do like a store just for the hats. I don't know. Just thought. maybe that'll
figure something out.
We'll figure something out. And we'll do it again next year. We don't know if it's going to be at the Rialto. We don't know who will be joining us, but I'm sure we'll be doing it again next year.
We had fun. I think, Friday was a lot of fun over in East Cary.
Yeah.
Because it was a different venue. Quite frankly, sometimes smaller is a little bit better.
Yes. Intimate.
Yeah.
A little more intimate.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We might be back there for something. Just something to keep an eye on. Something to keep an eye on. All right, let's go to 919.
Hello, OG. Courtesy driver, Saturday afternoon, 4 p.m. Just watching the end of the Rams-Browns game. Sanders played in the second half, but here at the end of the game, after the Rams took the lead 17-16, they pulled him, possibly for his oblique injury, I don't know, and put Huntley in. I just wonder, if they were to cut Sanders, should the Carolina Panthers pick him up? If nothing else, it's better than Jack, Josephus, whatever the fuck that plumber name is, because he needs to be cut for sure. He sucks. Have a good weekend, guys. Thank you for what you do. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Curtis. I don't think
Josephus.
I don't think they're cutting. Don't think they're cutting Shador. Just a thought. All right, let's go to another 919.
Hey guys, enjoy the podcast. I had actually called in last football season and addressed Joe Giglio specifically about NC State's non-conference scheduling philosophy and the litany of games that have been lost over the years. So anyways, wanted to call more specifically this time in reference to the SEC going to non-conference games. I guess this just confirms why the UF and NC State game for 26 was canceled. So I remember Giglio had referenced Fred Damaris was instrumental in securing a lot of these SEC games when he was the associate or assistant athletic director. And it hurts to have lost him in that role. And now with the SEC going to the 9-game model, it just confirms, that that's why we're getting frozen out of these premier sexy matchups. But anyways, you guys also referenced Georgia and A&M never playing. Here's a scheduling oddity for you for the ACC in the expansion era. Pitt has never played at Carter Finley as a member of the ACC. They played a non-conference game in 2009 at Carter Finley, but never as an ACC member. So I'm not quite sure how that's come to pass. Anyways, enjoy the show. Picked up the Drunken Wolf t-shirt as some swag a few months back. So keep up the good work. Take it easy, fellas. Later.
Appreciate you jumping on to the OG Triangle Media shop.com and getting that stuff because it goes away Labor Day weekend. I think we have time for, you have anything to respond to on that one?
No, the schedule stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I like you said, we've been over some of these things before. So
yeah. See where it goes next. All right. One more.
It's Friday night. It's 8:30. I'm getting ready for football season. I'm watching, I think it's 2008 ECU versus NC State. My wife's in the other room, and I just put my daughter to bed. But I'm trying to figure out how the heck did we let Russell Wilson and NC State with Phillip Rivers and Russell Wilson, two NFL Hall of Fame quarterbacks, most likely, come through NC State to only go to a Gator Bowl. Oh, touchdown ECU here. Whatever. It's like nearly 20 years ago. Anyways, how do we let them come to NC State and we get a Tangerine Bowl, a Gator Bowl, a Champ Sports Bowl? That's it? That's all I got during my childhood? Good grief.
That's called Triangle Good. It's Triangle Good. It all comes full circle.
Yeah, now you see it.
Now you see it. And but you know what? We're glad that Bill Belichick has finally he's seen the light. He now has Triangle Good religion based on having an outline of the state with the North Carolina schools they're playing. And they're going to be state champs. Maybe. Can't wait to hear Bill Belichick, multi-Super Bowl winner, get hype around being state champs.
I bet you Mac still has that plaque in the basement of the Keenan Center.
Now we're talking. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for today's show. We will see you Wednesday. Wes Durham's going to be hanging out with us in studio. We'll see you then.